It says we're live. And we're holding. Okay. Are we still live here, though?
No, I don't know.
I don't know either. It looks like our stream. No. Shit.
It's all right if we're a little late.
Yep. Coming in.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please enter your host PIN. When finished, press
7 913 8107 pound.
I'm sorry, but I did not hear you press at least 4 digits of your PIN number.
Nice.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio.
There's a keypad.
Goodbye.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
Is the number lock not on?
I don't know that it. Try this.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio.
Blog Talk
Please
Radio,
enter your
people.
host PIN. When finished, I'm sorry, but I did not hear you press at least 4 digits of your PIN number.
Okay. Why isn't it making a little noise? See?
What are you hitting?
I'm hitting the numbers.
Why don't you just type them in?
Yeah, I can try that and see what happens.
Is number lock on?
Yeah, try that. Yep. 319 527 6060. We go again.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please enter your host PIN. When finished, press the pound key. Sorry, but I did not hear you press at least 4 digits of your PIN number.
It's not making a little noise.
What's up with that?
I don't know.
Is the volume on mute or something? I mean, that should.
No, it made the 4. Let's try it again. It did it before. New conversation. Everybody who's watching on YouTube Live can watch us.
Is it even on YouTube Live?
I don't know. Let's check and see.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please enter your host PIN. When finished, press the pound key.
I can't get the 8 to.
I think you should get your money back.
I think so. I did it before.
Or I should say our money back.
Why shouldn't it for you? It calls just fine.
Not hearing. Oh, that's my computer getting hot.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please enter your host PIN. When finished, press the pound key.
I'm doing it.
Did you press the pound key?
No. Okay.
When you're finished, press the pound key.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
I can't get this damn thing to go. I can't get it. I wonder if we're still on blog. Hey, let's see. Yeah, we're still live. Let's see. Call in. Continue. I want to call in. Hey, let's try this direct connect. What's that?
Dude, this is your show.
Hold on. Let's try this. Hold on.
Whoa. That was interesting.
Yeah. Let's see what that does.
Is there a
Start
straight?
your show now. Press 1. To hear important instructions, press
No, that's
Since
what
it
you did
appears you're
before.
calling back into a live
Hold
show,
on.
we are reconnecting you now.
Hold on. That's all we have to do. We don't have to go through the other. All right, baby. We're on the air. Boom.
God.
I'm Derek Hutchison,
And I'm Benton Lawson.
and you're listening to a Misanthropic Detour live on Blog Talk Radio and YouTube Live.
And if you're listening to this, it's because you ain't got nothing else to do.
Boom.
Well, that was
ended quickly, didn't it?
Yeah.
That ended quickly. Hey, I did not know that. All you have to do is just hit that direct connect. I did not know that.
Well,
That's
I
new.
remember hearing that when you first started it.
The direct connect.
Yeah, the dude talking.
Oh,
instead
that
of
was
the,
when I went online
yeah,
here.
instead of the Blog Talk Radio.
Instead, that was here trying to hit the little buttons. But now
Yeah.
all we have to do is hit the direct connect.
Well, thank God for something.
Now we know. Hey,
Look-
welcome to a Misanthropic Detour. I'm Derek Hutchison.
I'm Benton Lawson. And that was a giant CF that just happened on this
Hey,
show.
it's a practice one. It's just practice. How long has it been since we've been on? Let's see what has happened. What has happened since the last time we've been on? Alaska and Hawaii became a state.
Yeah. We now live in an alternate universe.
We now live in an alternate universe. Absolutely. We are on Blog Talk Radio and YouTube Live. If you check out our Facebook at A Misanthropic Detour, you can get the links to both. Maybe. I don't know. We went on YouTube Live so many times, but you can listen to Blog Talk Radio. That's for sure. You can join us in the chat room. You can even call in if you want to. All you have to do is call in at 215-383-5772. I'll give that to you again, 215-383-5772. And so now we have 52 minutes left on our show. That's not bad. 8 minutes is all we blew.
We blew 8 minutes
blew-
trying to get that back on. Oh my Lord.
Now we know.
Well, and we started this at 6:30.
Yeah, but now we know. But you can't call in until 15 minutes before. So
Right.
now we know.
You have all the controls, so
Yeah, see, it's a learning process. We take this, we run it through.
Did you take any notes?
No, now I know.
Number one.
No, I got it. I know exactly what to do.
All right.
I know exactly what to do. So you are listening to a Misanthropic Detour. We've been on for about 5 years now. No, we haven't. How long has it been?
Well, we started at a year and
Yeah.
a half, maybe
Yeah, but
ago.
new to Blog Talk Radio, that's for
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
New to Blog Talk Radio, maybe not new to YouTube Live, but new to Blog Talk Radio. We are a podcast that talks about what do we talk about? What is it? What is a Misanthropic Detour actually?
Well, our original conversations were just basically about our own misanthropy
Exactly.
and how we got to that point in our lives due to, I guess, just basically life and the circumstances that came along with it.
Yep. And that's where we're at now. And a lot, like I
Well,
said,
we're not exactly where we were.
no, but
which
I think we can agree we're not where we want to be.
Well, not exactly. I would agree with that.
Not exactly.
Not exactly.
At all. But hey, we are where we are.
It could be worse.
I suppose it could always be worse.
It can always be worse.
It
But
can always
yes.
be worse. So I'm not quite sure. I don't know what that picture looks like.
Look, we both have jobs. We work indoors. It's
You don't in the morning.
it's warm.
It's not for you in the morning.
Well, that's some sometimes your day gets altered. But
Yeah.
hey, you got a warm, dry place. You get a paycheck. You got insurance.
Yep.
It's all good.
And yep. What do they say? Full time with benefits.
There you go.
I don't know if they're I don't know who they benefit, but there they are.
Hey, they benefit us.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. We are happy with,
They
like you
ben-
said, it could be worse.
they benefit our spouses. And in the end,
My spouse pays for the insurance. So.
isn't that really all it's about? I mean,
Yes.
seriously.
I suppose it is. So on this podcast, as you listen to us, and we'll be coming to you probably hopefully every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
On this Valentine's Day.
On this Valentine's Day, here we are away from our spouses doing a podcast.
I know, and I just told mine she had to get off the internet.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Quit streaming your
Hey,
shows.
could you
get off the
quit?
internet.
Yeah, could you quit streaming your shows and because we've got a show to do.
Yeah, this day is really about you, but hey, it's about me right now. Get off the internet.
I went home and cooked my wife supper.
Did you?
I did.
I stopped at
Did-
Venture Foods
Did you?
and bought my wife supper.
Hey, I want to talk about this right now, and I think this is important to know that this podcast is absolutely, well, not sponsored by the person I'm about ready or the company I'm about ready to talk to about, and who knows. You can email us if you have a problem with Benton. You can email us at amisanthropicdetour@gmail.com. amisanthropicdetour@gmail.com.
Look, there's already emails coming in.
So here's what happens. I'm not going to name the company just, to avoid a lawsuit. But there's a company that just opened up in our fair little small town. I'm not naming names.
Do you want me to name it?
No.
Okay.
So we go,
Right?
being the dutiful citizens that we are,
Hey, new store. Check it out.
support local business.
That's right.
Even though this is a massive chain.
Right. But it's now local to us.
Yes. Which I'm sure, because of where we live, it's going to do swimmingly. No. 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 No.
You don't think so?
Have you? Oh, it'll do great,
Right.
but no.
You didn't like it?
No.
Really?
No. Come on. Are you kidding me? Have you been there?
Yes.
No. Did you buy something?
I did.
Damn it, Benton. Did you?
I did.
No.
Yeah.
No. No.
What is it about this store that you
Oh, I don't know. Maybe the prices that are jacked up like
Well,
85%.
Well, it depends on what you buy.
I
'cause
don't buy the premise. I reject the premise that this is going to make me live longer. I totally reject it.
because of the type of items that they sell in this store.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm not, I am absolutely, it's global warming. That's what it is. It's global warming in a can. No.
Well, see, I bought the same thing that I buy at other stores.
And you paid 3 times the price for it, didn't you?
No, I did. I'll admit, I did pay a fraction more.
A fraction?
A fraction.
Like an improper fraction, like
No.
18 thirds.
No, 20 cents more.
No, you did not.
I did. It was $2.69 at one store. It was $2.89 at this
all
store.
right.
But here's why.
Yeah.
Because the store that I used to buy this item at
Okay.
quit carrying it.
Okay.
So yet I can go straight across the street and they have an abundance of that same item.
Okay, but that's a smaller item.
It is a smaller item.
$2.69. Is that what you?
Each.
That's
yes.
each.
And I buy like 12 or 15 of them at a time.
Okay, but it's not like the normal thing that you would buy. That's like $15. Like a gallon of milk is $9.
What? Well, see, I didn't even look at that
Dude,
because
I
I
just
wouldn't
looked at it.
because I wouldn't have bought that stuff there anyway.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
If we're gonna, you can
It's
buy.
kind of like sugar.
Yeah, you could buy sugar there for like $12
Well,
a pound.
yeah,
or,
what I'm
or
saying
whatever.
is, yeah, sugar.
Exactly.
White sugar is white sugar, no matter where you buy it.
But if you just put like the name gluten free on it, it's
Right.
you jack it up like $15.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope they do. I hope they do well.
Well, the
It looks-
parking lot's always crowded.
It's always crowded, and God bless them. If for all those people who want to do it, it's just not for me.
Hey, it's the American way.
It is, and
Competition.
God bless them. If they can make, obviously they make lots of money, and obviously our fair town is a going to be a big, giant, booming business for them because everybody's into that.
Well, what do you say about a town who can't even sustain the Burger King?
It shut down. Did you see that?
Yeah, of course I saw it.
It shocked me.
I never went there, but
I have never been in a town where a Burger King shut down.
where it couldn't survive. Yeah,
What happened?
it's almost like a Hardee's. Well, they're Carl's Jr. here that can't make it in a small town.
What happened?
It had to have been very poorly run. That's all I can
Was that in the paper? It's just like it hit me. Dude. I was gobsmacked. It hit me in the face. I woke up. I'm like, where's the Burger King sign? It's gone.
Gone.
They were like the Baltimore Colts that just left and went to Indianapolis. Boom, in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Bam.
I wish I understood that reference.
I
but
know it. I'm sorry. I don't know. Maybe
You know me. I'm not a sports guy.
I know it. I know it. So the things that have happened since we've been gone.
Yep. Not that anybody cares.
Not
but
that
hey,
anybody cares, but it's
we'll
part
tell
of
you anyway.
it's part of our detour. So you moved.
Yes, we sold a house.
Yeah. And moved, and that was quite the ordeal.
Yes.
The summer went by. Unfortunately, the Patriots won the Super Bowl. Pretty sure we had a show since Trump's been president. Not sure. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, we have.
We started when he was president.
That's exactly
Or
right.
while he's been president.
That's exactly right. So a lot of things have happened. So if you follow our podcast each and every Thursday, you're going to hear about things that we care about and things we don't care about at all, and which adds to our misanthropy, right? The things that we don't care about.
Most definitely.
So we are the podcast that can get you through the gloomy winter into spring. So listen to us every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Check out our Facebook, A Misanthropic Detour. Give us an email. Here, if you're listening on Blog Talk Radio, you can give us a call at 215-383-5772. We are on air finally. We're just learning this process. You can also check us out on YouTube Live. So I'm trying to think of something major that has happened since we've been on the road, and I don't think anything major has happened, has it? I mean,
for us, moving was pretty major.
that was
The
that was huge. The studio,
studio's different.
which will be next week.
Yeah, because this is what, the fourth?
Yes.
Is this the third or the fourth?
Here's what I'm anticipating, though.
This is the third.
What people are seeing on YouTube Live, they're going to see the same thing. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, I can't see it.
And I'm envisioning it. I think it's going to be exactly the same.
The new one, the new location,
The
but
new-
the background and stuff
The new
is the same.
undisclosed location.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't-
it's probably like our fifth studio, isn't
yeah.
it?
Don't disclose it. We might get in trouble.
No, not going to disclose it at all. It's going to be one of those things. It's like a black site.
Yeah. If
or-
you find us,
yeah,
you won't live to tell about it.
yeah,
That's for sure.
that's right. So don't go looking for us. Just check out our Facebook.
I was just sitting here thinking, wasn't our last podcast, if I'm not mistaken, because I had a bunch of weapons here. We were talking about guns.
That's
but
right. We were
wasn't it-
talking about
It was
guns.
the Vegas shooting.
It probably was.
I
the
think was
big-
our-
God almighty, how long ago was that?
I know it was our last podcast
You had all the guns. That's exactly right.
because we were talking about gun control issues and
That's
you
right.
know,
That's exactly right. That was the last one. He had all the guns here.
I didn't have them all, but I had
Well,
some.
you didn't have all yours,
the
but
one, the ones that freaked most people out.
yeah. Yeah. So that's what's happened between it. And for those of you who've never listened, or those of you who listen on Blog Talk Radio, who will be listening on Blog Talk Radio, we talk a lot about our mile markers. That's what our shows are called: mile marker 1, mile marker 2, mile marker 3. How many do I have to go through? But that's how we designate our shows, being on the detour. And all this podcast is just two guys sitting talking about things that are happening and what it's like to be on a detour that I don't think we expected to be on.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Being supported by our spouses.
Yeah.
Thank God for our spouses, right?
Yep.
Holy moly.
And I hate to disrupt your train of thought,
Yeah.
but I don't think it was Vegas. That was 2017.
Okay.
It had to have been Parkland.
It was Parkland,
which is
1 year to today
today's the anniversary. Yeah.
of Parkland. And that one was in Florida. That's right.
Yep.
Parkland in
Yep.
Florida.
I think that was our last one.
We both work in the education
Industry, maybe?
industry. I was going to say the educational system, but I don't want to confuse people.
Yeah.
We're not teachers, but we do work.
Well, no, that's not totally true.
We are teachers.
You are.
I'm not.
You do. You teach a master's
I
class.
am a head custodian at an elementary school.
Right, but originally you're a Presbyterian pastor.
Exactly.
So you're a teacher.
Connect those dots.
Yeah. So you're a teacher first and foremost. And just because of
You built planes.
well, I didn't build them, but I definitely screwed some of them up.
You made them fly.
Well, yeah.
That's the important part, right?
By themselves. That was the cool part.
There you go.
So regardless of where you have been and where you have ended up, you still use your ability as a teacher
To clean toilets.
to mold minds, very young minds.
Molding minds.
Yeah, because you do teach a master's class periodically, and you do teach other classes within the 5th grade at Gateway.
Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Something ain't right. And I can't connect those as much as we want to.
Yeah.
I just can't connect those dots.
Well, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Needless to say, both of our spouses are integral moving parts of our local education system.
They are true educators.
They are true educators. You know, they've got the sheepskin on the wall and boom, and they're the true educators.
They stand very close to us when we speak to small children. Just to make sure we don't have too much of an impact on them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it. So hopefully you get a flavor of what that is. And I think the beauty of this podcast is that it's not high tech.
Obviously not scripted.
Yep. Not scripted. You can see on you, for those of you who are watching YouTube live, you can see this. We've got 2 laptops and a couple mics. That's what we use. And the beauty of the podcast is that I think it resonates with everybody else who's on that misanthropic detour, even though they may not know what that word means.
That's what Google's for.
That's what Google.
I would say pick up your Webster's dictionary, but I don't know too many people who actually have a hardback copy of the Webster's dictionary anymore.
And I know as people listen, as people either are listening or will listen to this,
hopefully.
And this is the assumption that audio is going out.
Right. Maybe I should check that right quick.
We'll check that and see if it's going out. But
oh my God, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows on YouTube Live if it's even going out? I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. We're having it, so I just muted it and unmuted it, so we'll see. But
I'm gonna pull it up. So
yeah, pull it up, listen to it, see if it's actually working. I don't see a little light going, but we're trying these things and trying to get better on this podcast. So those of you who are listening or will be listening, you are on the ground.
There we are.
You see us?
I do.
Is there any sound coming out?
I don't know. I'm trying to get it to come up now. You'll find out here in just a second.
Okay. So We'll get this. You can hear it, right?
Well, we'll hear it here in a second if it even comes up.
I don't know. It'll be a big giant feedback, won't it?
I don't know.
I, I have no idea. But I do know this. We're going out on Blog Talk Radio.
Yep.
That's for sure. YouTube Live, I don't know. I don't see the little light. I have no idea. You know, we get on YouTube Live and you hit that little button and bam. If this doesn't work, we'll try Facebook Live. Who knows? But at some point in time, you're going to be able to see and hear a Misanthropic Detour every Thursday at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We had talked about some of the things that we were going to talk about. And if we are worth our salt on podcasts, we talk about some of the things that are near and dear to us or that either bother us or get to us. And before we went on the air, you couldn't stop playing the Amazon.
I know.
The Amazon clips. I caught a little part of that on the 5 o'clock news. Something about Amazon is not going to New York. They were going to New York, and now they're not.
Right.
And what's the reason for that?
Well, I only caught bits and pieces of it on the news, but my understanding is that the new freshman senator from New York got involved in the negotiations with this and decided that the money that was going to be the tax incentives that were going to be given to Amazon, which were like $2 billion or something, she felt could be better used in other places throughout the state. Now, I guess what she doesn't understand is there's not $2 billion to give to Amazon.
Right.
They're getting a tax break.
Right.
Of a total of $2 billion.
It's not like New York is forking over $2 billion.
For the money that Amazon generates by having that facility in New York. So because of that, she got involved in the negotiations. And my understanding is Amazon felt like that was a pretty toxic environment to be in. And they said, you know what? We don't want to be here anymore.
Do we happen to know what the second place town was?
I don't remember who was second, but I did hear that for right now, they're not going to build another site anywhere. Yeah, it's like on hold for a little while.
And this was 25,000?
25,000 employees.
25,000 employees. And what did they say the average?
Hey, there we are.
The average employee's salary?
$150,000.
Can you imagine that?
No, I can't.
That's insane.
I can't. But here's the bad part. The bad part is that companies were already starting to build infrastructure around this facility in hopes that the people moving there would then spend their money within the community.
And now that's not going to happen.
Now it's not going to happen.
And we're talking, and let's be clear, we're talking about and let's be clear. There you go. See, we can hear. Nice.
There you go. I unplugged it just so we could check it.
It's a freshman congresswoman,
right,
from the state of New York.
Yep.
Now don't get me wrong. Freshman Congress people have the same.
At some point, they're all freshmen.
They're all freshmen. They have the right to speak and everything. The Green New Deal, she's way left. And I saw the other day where, and I don't think it was her, but it was another freshman congresswoman from, I don't remember. Congressperson from, and I can't remember where she's from, but they're starting to have to rein them in a little bit and say, hey, you're a freshman. You need to shut up because just a little bit, because everybody now is thinking we are like you.
Right.
And they have the right to represent New York however they want. I think New York is probably just as far left as you can get. It's got so many liberals in California and liberals in New York that I'm afraid the United States might tip over.
Look, now, we're not going to talk about Hank Johnson, are we? Look, you're talking about my home state, so easy now.
Yeah, what is that? What's the deal? What
I-
do you do? What's going on there in Georgia?
Dude, I don't know.
That's insane.
There's a reason I moved to Colorado
I guess so.
15 years ago.
But the things that are coming out of these new freshmen are scary. I think who was it? And I can't remember who it was. I'd have to look it up. Talking about the Green New Deal being the same as landing on the moon.
Right.
I mean,
Well, and he's talking about it in the context that the idea is so far out there that you really can't fathom it. Much like going to the moon was, and I understand that. The only problem I have with some of the stuff I'm hearing is that they're not doing some simple research on economics. Number one, and who's
on the
gonna,
global warming, you mean?
on any of it.
Okay.
I mean, look at California. So California wanted high-speed trains,
Yep.
and they have spent a ton of money on high-speed trains. Well, the new governor comes in, and he shut it all down.
And so that's a waste of
Millions, if not close to $1 billion,
$1 billion.
at least 1 billion,
Right.
if not more. And they're still working on parts of it, but
Yep.
there's no way that it can that it can uh, that can continue to be built and actually sustain itself.
But here's the problem I have with it, whether it's these freshman Congress people, and I'm not going to say it's just Congresswomen because it's congressmen as well. None of this is fringe stuff. I'm not sure,
Well, to us for sure.
and I suppose if
Oh, wait. To you,
to me,
I'm not gonna.
it's,
I'm neither going to confirm nor deny.
what?
I'm going to remain neutral.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to remain neutral at all because
Yeah.
now I can understand you thinking, not you, but if you were elected, thinking, okay, since I was elected, then the majority of people who elected me, or a plurality, or whatever you want to say, and that one more vote than I needed, elected me, then that's my
That's your affirmation.
that's my affirmation.
Yes.
That
that what you espouse during this entire campaign
is representative of the
of-
people that I represent.
right. And so since the majority or the amount of people who voted for me got me elected into office,
Exactly.
we all feel the same way.
Exactly.
Now, the question is what they were spouting on the campaign trail, is that the same thing that they're doing now?
And I would say the majority of them that have come in, if you look at the majority of at least, I'm not going to say Democrats, but at least the leadership in the Democrats, and it looks like the bottom part of the Democratic Party, all it is I'm going to say everything and do everything I can just because I hate Trump. I mean, that's because some of this stuff is just socialist. Now, we look at Bernie Sanders, and when Bernie Sanders came on the trail 4 years ago, we thought, Bernie's nuts. What happened? Bernie's crazy. This is socialism. College.
Yeah, he's a centrist compared
Okay,
to everybody now.
We're going to pay for everybody's college, and that's a great thing. And if I had kids going through college now, I would say, okay, that's great. But somebody's got to pay for that.
Right.
And then we get these in that's so far socialist that you're like,
When somebody says that we're going to produce some other form of transportation, it's going to make air travel obsolete.
yeah. Then you start
You
thinking,
have to just sit back and go, man.
yeah, because now it's just spouting just crazy talk.
Right.
Just now you're being, and I know what people think, who are people who are listening on YouTube Live, or people who are listening on Blog Talk Radio. Somebody like me who's a Republican and voted for Trump, and you look at him and say, what were you thinking? But come on.
You have to look at that and say the same thing.
Exactly. But they won't.
Yeah.
They'll say, okay, that's progressive. We're going to move towards the socialist movement, and oh, the wall is, and that's where we're at now with the whole wall thing and the shutdown. And
Well, here's where we are. we're polar opposites.
Absolutely.
We had this conversation the other day, and as bad as I hate to say it, the Clinton years were about as centrist as you could get
Absolutely.
because you had a Democratic president, you had a Republican Congress,
Yep.
and holy hell, they worked together
They did.
to get things done. Now, each side didn't like things about the other.
Oh, there's
but-
there's a phone call.
Yeah, we'll turn that off. I have no idea who it
There's
is.
a phone call.
Probably Bill calling.
It may be.
Hey, you want to go duck
Yeah,
hunting?
and we look at it and we say, I mean, it's all everything's perception,
Yeah.
and perception is reality. And we looked at it at that time, and we thought, okay, Bill, he ate some things, and oh, my phone, my
Hey,
microphone,
easy.
there.
Easy.
Newt Gingrich had won some things, and Bill won some things, and there was a balanced budget, and he went after welfare, and now that we look at it, would you have ever thought that we would say, yeah, that was how it was supposed to work?
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's always good and bad that goes on in everybody's administration, but at that time, they got things to work. I mean,
Yep.
I sit here and I watch the news, which is half of my misanthropy,
Exactly. That
because you
yeah.
sit back and you go, "Is this what the human race has become?
Yeah.
Is just constant bickering. Nobody wants to talk." And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, okay, if the president's unhappy with what's going on, then here's what he needs to do, especially when we had a Republican Congress, because
Right.
those guys didn't do their job either.
That's right.
They didn't do their job.
Nope.
And so it's real simple. As the leader of the country, you need to stand up and go, look, guys, if you don't like what's going on, then get off your ass,
Yeah.
do your job, go talk to your constituents, go talk to your colleagues. All of you sit down in a room and work it out. It's not that difficult.
Yeah.
But they don't want to do that. They'd rather have this PR session every day. So in the next 2 years, they can run another campaign, and they can run another campaign, they can run another campaign.
And it seems like there's this fear that, oh my God, because we both know politics is the art of compromise. I mean, in its purest form, that's what it's supposed to be.
Right.
Everybody's supposed to get a little bit less than they wanted,
but everybody gets a little bit of,
but everybody
of something.
Right. And I even see that in my Republican Party. You're staying neutral. Somewhere in the center is the disappointment, even from Tucker Carlson, whether from whoever, who's saying, "Oh, Trump gave up on this immigration thing.
Right.
He got less than he wanted for the wall. He got less than he was offered a year ago, or whatever."
Yeah.
And I even heard, I think it was Hannity. I think it was Sean Hannity who said, any Republican that votes for this new package deal that was presented so they could avoid the shutdown, isn't really a Republican.
I'm going to give you credit just for listening to him.
Yeah. And I'm
It's
just
like nails on a chalkboard, dude. I just can't do it anymore.
Hannity or
Yeah,
Tucker?
Hannity.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Poor what was Hannity's partner on the show years ago?
Combs?
Passed away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alan
Alan
Combs.
Combs.
Dude. Patience of Job that
Yep.
boy had.
And you look at it
I
and
miss
you
Alan.
think, okay, for one moment in time, whatever you think of President Trump, one moment he compromised and said, okay, and he even said it, this is a horrible deal. I hate it. It's not good enough.
Well, yeah, because he's going to sign an executive order for $8 million. So what does he care?
Yeah. And today he just declared a national emergency, and everybody just, oh my God, you can't do that.
Right. Even though it's been done 58 times.
'Cause here's the thing.
70 something.
In the Constitution, an emergency is whatever the president says it is.
Well,
I mean, how else do
Yeah.
you do that? I mean, there isn't some rubric that says this is emergency, and
Right.
President Trump has determined that people coming over our walls, or the lack of walls, or come across our border
he's determined that entering our country
illegally,
undocumented and illegally is a national emergency. How dare he?
and that's what I just don't get. And we had talked about that before. This whole idea of okay, it's not a wall. We got to name it something else. So
Right.
as if the American people are fooled by that.
It's an abutment.
It's
Abutment.
an abutment. It's an illegal immigration deterrent.
Yeah.
And so we have to play all these games. And now it's not even about illegal immigration, even though if you go back and you listen to Nancy Pelosi and you listen to Chuck Schumer, they had said 2 years ago or 3 years ago or even 5 years ago when W was president before, Obama, they had said we have to do something about illegal immigration because it's killing our country.
Right.
And it's almost as if the things that they said before, it's so transparent now that it's idiotic. And I'm all for people. Hey, just like I said with Kennedy, if people of Massachusetts want to keep sending Ted Kennedy to be in the Senate before he died, hey, that's their right. But come on, I mean, you just keep sending this, and all we do is complain. Nothing changes. Well, that's because we don't send anybody else in there.
Right.
And then what happens? We get these new freshmen, and we say, "What's happening?"
Well, and I was fixing to say my wife's name. I'm sure I'll say it later on, but we were having this conversation last night because we were both kind of sitting there going, "Okay, really? What causes this? Why are people thinking this way and doing the things way they do?" And then we finally looked at each other. Well, I looked at her. She's the one that said it because she's the one that's smart.
Yeah.
She said it's because for the last 20 to 25 years, whether it's been in high school or college, they've gotten a trophy regardless. And when I say trophy, I don't mean they participated in sports. I mean, all they've gotten is constant positive recognition,
Yep.
whether they were right or wrong.
Yep.
And so now we have these people who are holding government office and they're expecting to act the same way and get the same praise and the same recognition without thinking whether or not it's right or wrong because they don't know any better.
Yep.
So they come up with an idea and they shoot it out there and they go, well, of course this is the right thing to do because I've been told my entire life I'm right.
Right.
I'm the princess. I'm the prince.
Yep.
Whatever I say is golden. There's never been any discipline for saying, wait a minute, what you're doing is wrong.
Right.
What you're thinking is wrong. You need to change your path.
And here's the thing, is it ever going to change though? You talked earlier about this whole idea of this separation. Now it's just nothing can get done and just kill in the middle because the left is saying the right's idiots and the right saying the left's socialists, and it all we're doing is embarrassing ourselves in front of the international stage. And and how does it ever change though?
Well, unfortunately,
I mean, because look who we're getting now.
Yeah.
On both sides. How does it change?
Yeah. And unfortunately, this is the path I think we're on. We've got one side who thinks whatever they do will never be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there's another side who doesn't necessarily disagree with everything, but they're so disgusted at it that eventually they're going to get so frustrated that there's going to be a conflict of some sort.
Yeah.
Now, where, is it a civil conflict? I don't know. Does that mean that things will change, socially? I don't know. But at some point, something will have to give.
It has to.
And I don't know what that fight looks like.
And I don't know what that fight looks like either.
But there's a reason why. There's a reason why there are a whole lot of people that feel the way we do. There's a lot of people who don't. But I think more and more just kind of sit back and scratch their head and go, what the hell is going on?
That's what my wife says a lot too, is it's over and over, is this idea of it, and you can't ignore it. You can't ignore it. Whether you agree with it or not, you have to look at it and say, Donald Trump got elected somehow. Now, if you hate the Electoral College, then you hate it. But I'm sorry, that's the way it works.
Right. But here's the thing. So, and I hate to interrupt.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't want you to lose your train of
No,
thought.
that's fine.
Because I know I will.
Yeah.
If I don't say this.
Yeah.
It didn't have to be Donald Trump.
No, it didn't.
all it was the guy who fought back.
Exactly.
It could have been Ted Cruz.
Yep.
It could have been Jeb Bush.
Yep.
It could have been Lindsey Graham.
Yep.
It could have been anybody, but nobody was willing to stand there and go, "Yeah, you're stupid.
Yep. That's it.
That's stupid.
Yep.
You're a moron.
Yep.
Here's why you're a moron. This is what I'm going to do." And there hasn't been anybody willing to fight in forever, either side, really. They're all just caught up in the perception of, I live at a higher level. I'm a higher level of intelligence than you.
Yeah.
We're going to have this intelligent discussion.
Yeah.
And you guys just listen.
And the whole idea of, if you look, and of course it happens this way all the time. If you look at the electoral map, now granted, Donald Trump wasn't elected by a majority of the people, but he didn't have to be.
Right.
He just wins by it touched something. And I don't know if it was the wall. I don't know if it was one particular thing.
I just think it's because he was fighting.
And you look at it, and people said, now we have a politician who's finally saying something that we think.
Yeah, or similar to the way I feel about the subject. Yeah.
And immigration is one of those things.
Right.
When we look at it and say, it's time we stop letting people into our country. And as soon as you say that, and I see it on Facebook all the time, I see it on the news all the time, this whole idea of, oh, you're uncaring, you're unloving. This is a land of opportunity.
We can't sustain it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you look at Japan right now. Japan is saying, okay, Japan has the opposite problem. Nobody's having any kids.
Right.
And so they're saying, we can't sustain this. You look at Germany during the time when Serbia and all of the refugees were coming in, they were saying, we can't sustain this. And I think what people have forgotten is this whole idea of, we let people into our country. You can come into our country if you want to. Now, is it arduous and tedious? Maybe, but you can come in.
Yeah,
just come in legally.
Yeah. What did Mexico just say?
And that was the whole idea when they had, I was so shocked when they had that picture of Mexican, I don't know if it was police or whatever it was,
Yeah,
standing on their border.
Mexican police.
And they said, we can't sustain this.
That's exactly right.
We can't sustain. If you keep leaving our country.
Yeah. Well, if you keep coming into our country, and we continue to let you, we can't sustain this amount of people coming into our country. We can't feed you. We can't clothe you. We can't give you hospital and medical needs.
Yeah.
Well, no kidding.
Yeah.
And they're only talking about, 10, 20, 30,000 people.
Right.
We're talking about 10, 20, 30 million.
Exactly.
Who have come here since Reagan
and
continue to live here.
And
they're being educated in our schools.
I have family members who will say, you're just so uncaring. This is the land of opportunity. We're just, you care about this or you care about that, but you don't care about people coming in who need to be. That's not they're totally missing the point.
Right.
It's called illegal immigration for a reason. You can't just jump the border. Name another country. And I said this to my wife the other day, and I haven't looked it up, so maybe there is. And if it is, give me a shout. misanthropicdetour@gmail.com. Email it to Benton. Name another country that just opens their borders.
Right.
And says, yeah, many people as you want. Visa, you don't need that.
No, just come into our border. Yeah. We'll give you health care. We'll educate your children.
Yeah.
We'll give you Social Security.
No big deal.
Medicare.
Now, Finland, Sweden, all of those that have free education and everything, but
New Zealand
do they have open borders?
And Australia
have open borders.
Share open borders.
There you go. There's two of them.
No. Allowing their citizens to go between each other.
Okay. All right.
That's not the same.
And we do that with our states. The EU does that. But name another country that actually just says, yeah, we'll take as many people as you want. We don't care. We'll give you.
Well, Germany was trying,
Yeah, and it doesn't. They find
and they're
out.
hating that.
Yeah, try to go to Canada.
Yeah, think about Germany.
Yeah,
How many they let in? What, 100,000 plus
yeah,
Muslims into their country?
yeah,
Nothing against Muslims.
yeah.
It's a different culture.
Yep,
So you're bringing that culture into a very old
very old.
German culture,
Right.
and there's a clash,
That's exactly right.
and they wonder why.
And then just to say there, because Christine and I were talking about this, we got 10 minutes left on Blog Talk Radio. We can go afterwards on YouTube Live. For those of you who want the extended cut.
the I wish you guys would shut up.
Yeah,
Cut.
exactly. And Christine and I were talking about, that's my wife.
Now you're in trouble.
Yeah, I'm in trouble. We were talking about this and put it into whatever category you want. There is this movement now, not that it didn't exist before, but it's very prevalent now, where, and she hears this. I mean, she hears this from young kids. This idea of, I'm sorry, Mrs. Hutchison, I have to speak my truth. I've got to speak my truth. This whole idea of throw the facts out, throw reality out, throw the ramifications economically out, and just say, you know what? Anybody who wants to come and be a part of the American dream, then I'm just all for love. And not even thinking about, and because Trump's saying it, and I don't know how right he is. I don't know how many people who are coming across the border illegally are bringing drugs, or who are committing crimes, or who are any of these things. I don't know what that is. But it's a percentage, obviously. How many are terrorists? I don't know. But there's this idea that says, if you don't know who's coming across your border, you don't know what they're doing, we have to support them economically. And yet these are the same people who say my taxes are too high. Where's my money going? Well, part of that money is going to welfare systems, to healthcare systems, to this whole idea of anybody who wants to come into our country can do that, and they can get any benefit they want, even though American citizens aren't always privy to those benefits. You want to come across and get a license, you want to come across and vote, you want to come across and have health care, you want to come across and have a job, sure, just come across in the middle of the night and do that. And yet the middle of the country says, I don't have benefits, I don't have a job, I don't have any of those things, and I'm an American citizen. Where is it to the point that says, and this may be nationalism, or this may be a nationalist, and people may say, well, that's what Trump's all about. But when do we start caring about Americans?
First,
A Misanthropic Detour at gmail.com, care of Benton Lawson. When do we do that?
well, we used to do it all the time.
Yeah.
The question is, when did we stop doing it?
When Churchill decided and convinced FDR that he should join the war, because before we were like, FDR even said that, hey, you know what? Here we are. We've got our own problems. And then, of course, the Greatest Generation went on. But I don't know. We missed that. There's this globalization that says, oh, we're now, we don't have borders. That's what people are saying. We don't have borders. We need to love everybody. And these people are coming across and they're risking their lives to get here. People did that in the 1930s and 1920s, and they came through Ellis Island, and they became citizens the way they were supposed to become citizens.
Documented
Citizens. They became citizens of the United States, and they took a test, and they stood up, and they declared allegiance to our country, and generations in their family went on to be Americans.
Right.
It just, I don't know. That's all I got. I'm just it
Fe-
just it
feels-
just upsets me.
Yeah, fuels your misanthropy
It
for sure.
just upsets me so much
Right.
that people say that somehow I care less about people because I don't want them coming over a wall.
Well, here's part of the problem. We've had how many generations of people growing up in this country who have never had to deal with any kind of discomfort whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then the other part of that problem is how much has technology affected our way of thinking, because we're privy to so much information so quickly that a lot of people can't process it all and understand what it really means, and so they get a skewed reality of what our reality in this country really is.
Yeah.
And so they base all of their decisions on their perception of reality. We've had that conversation as well.
Yeah.
Too
And
much information is not necessarily a good thing.
and here's what really upsets me. It happens in my family. And I'm sure it happens in every family. We got about 5 minutes left in Blog Talk Radio, and after that, you can keep watching us on YouTube Live for as long as we're going to go until we shut this down. But I see it in my family. I see it I see it on Facebook. I see these quotes of people who have no idea what they're talking about. It sounds good. Oh, this sounds like this little quote that I put on Facebook or whatever. It makes me sound like I'll say it, inclusive and caring and loving, and how can you be so close-minded, and they have no idea how that's backed up by any facts. And it's so disappointing to me. As this that if anything fuels my misanthropy and my whole idea of, yeah, we're going to hell in a handbasket. There's no coming back from this. No civilization has lasted over whatever how many hundreds of years, and we've already passed it. We should have bought the farm a long time ago
Right.
and fallen apart. And I look at it and I see this is how it happens right here. This is exactly how it happens. We're on the road to hell, and there's no coming back from it. And that's horrible to say, because you look at this great nation and you say there's a reason that we were great, and it's not because we let everybody in who wanted to be in. And we're a nation of laws, and this is just spitting in the face of that.
Right.
And that's what I don't get. I'm just like, is it legal to cross our borders illegally? There's the answer. We don't even. No, it's not. But yeah, okay, let's turn a blind eye to that. That's just absolutely insane to me.
Yeah.
And that's why we're going to fall apart and we're going to tip over.
Well, yeah.
We're going to tip over.
We're not Guam.
It just drives me. I just don't understand it. It's just,
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
something ain't right.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
And I don't know what we call the wall, but am I in favor of a wall? I'm in favor of whatever stops illegal immigration into our country.
Yeah, I'm for whatever allows us to uphold the laws that exist.
Exactly. It's not like we're creating new ones.
Yeah, I don't care what you call it. I would just like for us to uphold the laws that were written
90 seconds.
See?
and hold everybody.
90 seconds.
Yeah, just hold people accountable.
Yeah.
That's all.
So those are the types of things we talk about on a Misanthropic Detour. Listen to us every Thursday.
It won't always be political.
It won't always be political. Sometimes it'll be just hilarious, but sometimes I get up on my soapbox, and these types of things are the things that upset me. It's not always going to be quoting Sean Hannity or Tucker Carlson or whatever. Sometimes we'll agree with, no, we're not. No, we won't agree.
60
We won't
seconds.
agree with Democrats. Maybe
Right.
you might. I don't know.
Hey, look, I'm from Georgia. there used to be there was a lot of smart conservative Democrats
Blue dogs.
when I was a kid.
That's right.
They're all gone now, but
Where'd they
for
go?
the most part, they're retired.
That's right. It won't always be political. It'll be about the things that are going on in our. I had to back up just a tad.
Did you?
Yeah, because I was thinking, okay, it's past the 3, but it was just a little bit
All
before.
you have to remember is when you crest over that little bit of a hill and you start to go down, don't go up.
Don't go up.
You've gone too far.
That's it. And you know what I was thinking when I was driving? And for those of you who are listening on YouTube Live, you're going to be listening to this. I'm just going to tell this and we can. But here's what I remember. It was as plain as day. We talk about how many studios we've had.
Right.
And we're on like what?
This is
5.
I don't know. Let's think about it. So
The little camper
camper first, then upstairs, then Bob and Colleen's.
then Bob and Colleen's.
Then we came.
Then we came here. No, wait. No, then we
went back to the camper.
I think we went back to the camper. And then here.
Oh, so that's 4 different ones.
And then we'll be moving to an undisclosed location.
That'll be 5.
Yep, that'll be 5. So here's what I was thinking. And it just hit me as plain as day when I went by the 3 little markers.
Yep.
Today. It just went into my head and it was like a memory that. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, I know what happened last week. I broke your back and got stuck in the snow. I thought about that first time I drove to the studio.
You drove to our house
and got there okay, but then was lost for 2 hours.
Going back,
got caught in Bigfoot country.
Yep.
And I thought, what is it? When are we going to be at a studio that I can actually?
Well, this next one,
there'll
be no excuse.
There'll be no excuse. My car can drive to that place on autopilot.
Right, you can walk to that one.
I can walk to that one.
Yeah.
But that was that being lost.
You're just waiting
came back to me.
The Squatch.
And a small beads of sweat started to come down because I remembered that, and that was insane. I got lost in America. I mean, I didn't get turned around.
Mm-hmm.
I was dead lost, and I was sure that Squatch was going to come out.
Well, the funny thing is, I could have walked to where you were.
You could have, absolutely. You could have hit me with a rock, probably, from where you were standing.
Yep.
I called my wife and said, I'm lost in America. I am lost in America. I know I went by the same spot like 9 times.
Yeah.
It was a maze that I was unable to extract myself from.
Well, remember, there's very few street signs and no street lights.
And darker
and
than dark.
Yep.
And I know I'm surprised somebody didn't take a shot at me because I drove by their house like 9 times. I was probably in a driveway 9 times. And when I drove by those 3 little markers, I thought to myself, that this is what happens. This is the epitome of a misanthropic detour. Constant being lost, not knowing where I'm going, turning around 9 times, and still finding myself in the same exact spot. It was I don't know if it was a metaphor. I don't know if it was an analogy. I don't know if it was a simile. I don't know what it was grammatically, but that's what it was.
Yep.
And I have to admit, right here on YouTube Live, I think I peed myself just a little bit. It was absolutely horrifying. And when I passed those 3 little spots today, I thought, there's no way I'm turning into that driveway that I was in last week. And I didn't.
No. If you had gone 200 more yards, you would have.
I drove all the way to the fluorescent rock beds. No, I did
No,
the
you did-
fossil bed. I
you
turned
didn't go to
around
the
at the
fo-
wall. No, because
You were at the Wolf Center, right?
that's
yeah.
the only place to turn
Yeah.
around.
Right. Well,
That's where I was.
because you went.
Well,
past
I
the,
could have.
Well, there was a house up there in the turn. You wouldn't want to turn in there.
I was driving by, and when I went to turn off at the turn that we turned to I turned to the studio.
Right.
I kept thinking to myself, please, Lord, don't let anybody be right on my tail, because that's what happened last time. Yeah, I felt the pressure. Lights, and I was like, okay, I got to slow down. As soon as I turned, the lights in my just as bright as can be. Another truck, and I thought, here we go again.
Yep.
And I saw the lights, the little markers. I thought, I'm gonna slow down. I'm gonna slow down. I'm gonna slow down. And if he hits me, he hits me. And I just went by just a little bit, and I couldn't back up right away because this guy's. So I just pulled over just a little bit, waited for everybody, backed up. And even when I pulled in the driveway and started going up, I had this thought. It seemed like I was on the wrong one. And I'm not kidding you. I almost stopped. I'm like, I'm not getting stuck again.
Because you can't see.
'Cause
You
I
can't see
killed-
the house.
You can't see until you come over the
Till you go-
crest.
yeah.
You can see the lights up at the other house,
Right.
but you can't see your place. And you're like, and I'm thinking, oh, no, this isn't going to happen. So I almost stopped and backed up, but I kept talking to myself, this has to be it.
That was it. You're it.
And I thought, no, I already broke Benton once. I can't.
Well, here's the thing. I wouldn't have come pulled you out with my body. I
With
would have
your
brought
body.
a chain and hooked you up in the truck like I should have done the first time and just yanked you out of the snow.
So join us next time on YouTube Live. Now, those of you who are watching right now, you're getting the live view. Next couple of days, you're going to get the cut view. Clean it up a little bit, make it shorter, make it in an hour, mix it with the Blog Talk Radio a little bit. But probably every Thursday, there'll be a little bit of an extended version as we go a few minutes over on YouTube Live. We want to thank you guys for watching on YouTube Live, taking a chance on a Misanthropic Detour. Join us every Thursday, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Now, here's the question. This is the question, and then we'll go. You'll know better than I, because is it always Mountain Standard Time?
For us, it is.
I know, but what happens when we go into there's something else though, right? Mountain Standard Time. There's something. I know it's always Mountain Standard Time, but when the time changes, there's something that
It's still going to be Mountain Standard
I
Time.
know it's still Mountain Standard Time, but what's that other thing? There's another thing.
What are you talking about? East Coast?
No.
Pacific?
No. When the time changes, there's
And we spring forward?
yeah, it's called something. Yeah, see, now I have to hit Google because
I don't know what you're talking about. dude.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, I know you do. When the time changes, we go into, hey, the sun's up time. That's not it. Time zones with the sun.
Greenwich Mean Time?
No, man. Zulu time? No.
Greenwich Mean. That's
I know that
that's
there's
true.
Pacific and Mountain and Central and Eastern.
That's the true time.
Wait a second. It's coming to me.
Greenwich.
Got it. Daylight savings time.
Oh God.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
But it doesn't affect Mountain Standard Time. All the time.
It doesn't affect any of the zones.
No, it
just
doesn't
rolls
affect
us
it. It just
back or springs us
daylight saving.
forward.
That's exactly right. Daylight saving time. That's what I was thinking about. So it's always Mountain Standard Time. Always remember that. If you're on the East Coast, it's 2 hours. Central Time is 1. Pacific Time is what? 1. If you're in Hawaii, I don't know.
-1.
Yeah, if you're in Hawaii, I never know. What is that? 4 hours? 5 hours?
I don't know. I have to look.
I don't know. Anyway, if you're listening in Hawaii, if you're listening over in Great Britain, I have no idea what time it is right there.
7 hours ahead.
7 hours ahead.
Yep.
So it's 10 after 4.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to us on Blog Talk Radio or YouTube Live,
You definitely don't have anything else to
you
do.
definitely don't have anything else to do. But we want to encourage you to listen to us every Thursday night. That's what we're going to try and hit.
Hawaii has no daylight savings time.
It's just whatever time it was. It's like in Indiana with us.
It's 2 a.m.
No, it's not. It's not 2 a.m. in Hawaii.
September the 30th, 1945.
1945.
Yep.
It just keeps going on.
Yeah.
It just keeps going on. You can, for those of you who like to watch us, YouTube Live. For those of you who like to listen, go to Blog Talk Radio. You can chat with us. You can call in if you want to.
3 hours behind.
3 hours. Is that it?
6:11.
No kidding. That's it?
Yep.
I would have thought that it was much more. If you're listening to us in Hawaii at 6:11, that's prime time right there. That's 6:11. You're probably eating right now.
Sorry, we ruined your dinner.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So YouTube Live or Blog Talk Radio. This is a Misanthropic Detour. This is mile marker 1. Next week,
Is it 1A?
One A.
1B?
1.5, whatever that.
I thought this was a Misanthropic Detour 2.0.
This is a Misanthropic Detour because I just keep going back and forth. And this is the metaphor of my life. This podcast just mirrors my life.
But hey, so we didn't talk about what the big thing that happened in your life since we've been on the air. What's the biggest thing that's happened in your life since we've been on the air? I'm gonna put you on the spot.
The biggest thing that's happened in my life
Since we were on air last.
Oh, geez, since we were on air last. So obviously this is going to reflect my mood and my emotions, right? So I would say
maybe.
I would say the biggest thing that happened
Well, that I know of.
Oh.
How about that?
is probably my speaking. That's the biggest thing for me. But what am I missing? What happened?
Your son got married.
Oh my gosh, he did. Well, that's not really the biggest thing in my life. That's the biggest thing in his life.
But it
Yeah,
affects
my
you.
son got married.
It
That's
affects
right. My son is now married, which obviously pales in comparison to my speaking.
That's
In my yes, he did. He got married. Congratulations to Jacob and Amanda. Man, holy moly, they got married. My son's in continuing in school. Amanda is a photographer who's now going to school to be man, I want to get this right. Dietitian, not a nutritionist, a dietitian.
I thought he was doing physical therapy.
He is.
Something.
He is. He's back in school, physical therapy assistant. That's right. He got his degree in exercise physiology. Now he's back in school. He's also a personal trainer.
So in addition to the physical therapy, he's doing nutrition.
No, that's what Amanda is doing. That's what his wife is doing. She's a
okay.
dietitian.
Well, they got them both covered.
And nominated. Hey, I'm going to give a little shout out here on YouTube Live. To my new daughter-in-law, nominated for Dietitian Student of the Year at UNC.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yep. I don't listen to anything she says because she goes and shops at that store that I don't like. She's just the one who tells me, you're not really eating right, Dad. Okay.
Are any of us eating right?
They are. So yeah, that's the biggest thing. Yours was probably moving.
Mine was my daughter moving from Colorado to Vegas.
That's right. That's huge.
Us selling our home that my kids grew up in, and my youngest going to college.
And that whole thing is another podcast in itself.
Yeah, and all that happened over the summer.
That was quite the deal.
Yeah. In addition to a failed septic system to the tune of $23,000 and a hailstorm.
A hailstorm.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
To the tune of about 30 some odd thousand.
Yeah.
That was over the summer.
And that just adds to the Misanthropic Detour. Those are the things that we talk about. Those are the things that happen to us.
Yeah, God, can you please punish me one more time?
With another hailstorm.
Can you please give me some more adversity in my life? This wasn't enough. Whatever you feel like, bring it on. Just bring it.
That's exactly. Hey, we want to wish everybody a very happy Valentine's Day.
Yes.
One little tidbit of information just to throw back into your noggin. I saw this on the news this evening. Colorado I don't know how they measure this. I don't know. I don't know what the scale is. I don't know what the rubric is, but here it is. They said it on the news, so it's got to be true. It was on TV. They were ranking the states as for states for falling in love. Where do you think Colorado fell?
48.
God, you're so close. 43rd.
Seriously?
43rd. We
I
don't.
figured it'd be towards the bottom.
Why? You know, but here's the thing. You know
Well,
what was number one?
Remember, I didn't grow up here.
Okay, but do you know what number one was?
Number one?
Number one state for falling in love.
Somewhere up in the Northeast, like Maine or
See, that's what you would think. When
Vermont.
yeah, the fall when it's turning nice and all of the
All the cold weather by the fire.
Hallmark Channel.
Yeah.
Mississippi.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that one.
That's why I think the whole thing was loaded. I don't think that's
Somebody paid for it.
somebody paid for that.
Somebody lobbied.
What was worse? What was the last?
What's the worst?
Yeah, the worst place to fall in love.
The worst place or the worst state?
Worst state to fall in love.
Nebraska. No, North Dakota.
Bingo. North Dakota.
What I tell you.
Ding, ding, ding. You got it. You would think though, with all the cold though, all you do, you know,
You're just pissed all the time.
yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
You know, you're so close. You almost live in Canada.
Yeah.
It's always negative 50 degrees.
Yeah, it'd be better if you
Your
just went to
diesels,
Canada.
your plugs are plugs are always frozen.
Somebody from Montreal would come through and they speak some
Exactly.
French and you just melt.
Yeah.
But no, in North Dakota,
But I was surprised. Colorado 43rd, you know, with all the snow and the swishing and skiing and
there's too many pissed off people here
yeah,
like us.
yeah. Ever since, I think it has to do with pot.
You should move back to Indiana and I should go back south.
You go back to Georgia.
Be much happier. Well, I doubt that.
Hey, these are the ways you can get a hold of us. A Misanthropic Detour at gmail.com. You can follow us on our Facebook at just go to A Misanthropic Detour. All of that stuff is new, even though it's really not new. You can check us out. We'll have the Blog Talk radio post on there. We'll also have YouTube Live all cleaned up. Stay with us because next week, it's always an adventure. Next week, new studio. Boom. I mean, for those of you who like watching, you're going to look at it and say, what happened? That thing is amazing. What I'm looking at is just amazing.
What do you have, a green screen or something behind us?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We're gonna have something that's just going to be absolutely fantastic. So for everybody who's stuck with us here on YouTube Live for an hour and 19 minutes and 21 seconds, thanks for watching us as we tried to figure out how to Blog Talk Radio. Now that we know, it's just seamless. Next week is going to be seamless.
Yeah. Let's put bets on that.
I'll bet everything that's in my pocket.
Me too. Oh, wait.
Against everything that's in your pocket.
Me too.
I will bet everything is seamless. Now I know exactly. Yeah. We're golden now.
Yeah.
I have noticed this though, and I'll end on this. I've done podcasting for probably 5-6 years now. And I used to do on-site type things. I'd go, one of the big things, my son would always have a major forensics meet. And so we'd pick up the studio, and my studio was quite extensive. I mean, there were miles of cables, and every single time I did that and came back and put the studio back together, it never worked. It would take 3 days with me and my father, who was my producer, to try and figure out which cable went where, and that's my fear for next. So,
this thing is so easy, dude.
It took us 5-8 minutes to try and get on Blog Talk.
That was just you messing with the computer.
Now I know.
Now you know. You just click that one button.
I just clicked that one button.
Dude comes on, says connect, and you're
boom,
in.
and bang.
Don't try to type in any numbers.
Nope, not going to try and do that.
That doesn't work.
It doesn't work. So you're that person that's very organized, and so we should probably label some things.
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Then join us next week, Thursday, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That'll be Thursday, February 24th. 1st.
I'll take your word for it.
Yep. New studio, new show, new podcasts. Join us on the detour. From my partner, Benton Lawson, I'm Derek Hutchison. Thanks for listening to us on Blog Talk Radio and YouTube Live. We'll see you next week. Don't get lost. Boom!